on cookies. Well, it is the first Monday of the month. Free Legal Advice Day is here once again. Attorney Dave Betras is here to celebrate and answer your legal questions free of charge. Good to see you, Dave. You have a good weekend.
Good to see you. I had those look great cookies, but man, I'm already fooded out. I mean, suit's a little tight on me.
Listen, I'm the king of too tight suits, right? All right, we already got a couple teed up and ready to go. Remember, call in. There's the number down there at the bottom of your screen if you want to call in live.
Right there.
For years now, this question came in. For years now, somebody has been giving out one of our viewers' phone numbers to realty companies. They have no idea who this person is who did this or why they did it. They keep telling the companies it's a mistake and asking to take them off their call list. Is there anything somebody can do to stop these calls? He said he hasn't been charged or anything, but sometimes gets a few a day and says it's just annoying.
It is annoying, and it's against the Federal Trade Commission laws that if you tell someone not to call you and they continue to call you, technically you could sue them, and there's a fee shifting thing. The problem is finding out who's doing it, right? Because it's usually one of these mills over in India or Pakistan or something. And so that's just the annoyance we have to put up with, and having digital footprints everywhere. I mean, these things are honing beacons. You have no idea, and most Americans don't, how much of your information is just out in the stratosphere there. Now, in the European Union, they have much greater privacy protection than we do here in America. And I've been ringing this bell a long time. There's too much of our personal information that's out in the stratosphere, and this is what happens as a result of it.
Should we be careful about putting our personal cell phone numbers
It's out there. It's out there. They're on ad trackers. There's some things you could do with your phone. You know, ask it not to track you, clear your cookies cache, and there's something else. But the point is people should familiarize themselves with how they can become less of what I call data facts or data grouping, where they just grab your data and millions of other people and they just go out there and they sell it. And that's why you get the ads you get. I bought you, okay, we got a caller. Well, and I bought YouTube Premium, so I don't have to watch the commercials anymore, but that's part of it.
Okay.
That's how they zero in on you.
Interesting. All right, as we mentioned, we have a caller on the line. Go ahead with your question for Attorney Betras.
Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, what's your name? Where are you from? Okay. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
go
ahead with your question.
Yes, I have an unsecured loan, and I've fallen behind on some payments. And I made some arrangements with the company, but they still keep hounding me.
Well, did you enter into, could you turn your TV down there? Because you can listen to yourself later, but because it's really giving me a lot of backseat.
Yeah.
So if you entered into an agreement with them and they have a signed agreement, then they shouldn't be harassing you like that. My supposition is that you've not entered into a written agreement, that you might have some emails coming back and forth. But if you have a forbearance clause that you've entered into or a forbearance agreement, that's what you need. You need to enter into some type of agreement with that company that they will not execute on your unsecured loan. Okay? All right, thank you. Oh, that background is killing me.
I know, it is tough. This one came in from Facebook. This person asked, how long does a court have to decide on a judicial release? They say they filed one for their son back on September 11th in Trumbull County. So far, haven't heard a thing. Is there a time frame for this?
No, I have filed, I do a lot of these, believe it or not. And sometimes we don't hear for months, and then we'll hear, and then we'll wait 6 months, we'll file it again. The important thing I could tell the caller is the judge hasn't said no yet, so that's a good thing. So no news is good news in that regard. And number two is, if the judge is going to grant it, they traditionally or usually give you a hearing. Now, if the judge gives you a hearing and denies it, you're dead. You can no longer file judicial release. Judicial release, I'll remind the audience out there, is a way to get you sprung out of jail early. Back in my day, when I was your age, we used to call it shock probation or shock parole. But now they call it judicial release. So you go down there, you get a little taste of the prison system, and then they yank you back. And then they put a leash on you and see if you can do it. All right.
There we go.
She's telling me rap. How'd I rap?
But that's okay. We're done for this segment. We got another one coming up in about 15 minutes.
I won't cave.
I like this. He's going back to the weather cave, though. If you have any questions in between, Vincent, we'll have the Farmers Trust Financial Report after the break.
Give me a call. I'll be back there.
back. It is 6:43 here on your first Monday of the month. Attorney Dave Betras is back for round number 2 of free legal advice on WFMJ Today. Good to see you, as always.
Can you believe it's December 2024?
It is nuts, right?
I mean, I swear to God, we just did January of 2024, and here I am standing with you, the first Monday of December 2024, and in what, 29 days? We're going to turn another calendar. Wow.
I don't even want to think about it yet. The years fly.
The older you get, the faster the time goes through that time glass.
I'm feeling it. All right, we have a caller lined up already. Caller, go ahead with your question for Attorney Betras.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. It's you. Go ahead.
Yes. I was calling to find out if we've been with an insurance company for homeowners insurance. They just sent us a letter and said that they were not going to renew our policy because we have tree limbs over our roof. Can they do that?
Yes, they can. No one is forced to enter into a contract with you. So I just switched. I shop my insurance every year, and I tell everyone out there in TV land, shop your insurance. They say they could save you prices. They say they're on your side. They say they're like a good neighbor. Make them be like a good neighbor. I save money every year. But I went from Safe Auto to Grange, and Grange is sending out an inspector to look at my house because I switched homeowners. So that's normal kind of stuff. But you'll get someone to cover you. You just got to get out there and get a little aggressive with it. But every year I shop my insurance. I see who wants my business. You guys are spending the money on TV.
I know.
You know, people are wedded to their insurance companies, and I don't understand it. I mean, this caller is a prime example. You pay that insurance religiously every month. Then they guilt you into using their product. Like, I don't want to put that in. It'll raise my rates. I'm like, okay, so why are you buying it then? Why do you have insurance? You have insurance to use it. And if they raise your rates, well, go get another new neighbor, or get a piece of the rock, or you know, something like that. I mean, they didn't build those big buildings because they were being on your side. That's all I could say to you.
There you go.
They got plenty of money and plenty of resources to pay your claims. I had an interesting call back there when I was back in the studio. So I want to remind people this. Since I've been a lawyer, and now it's going into my 40th year, Pennsylvania versus Mims has been the law. If a police officer asks you to exit the vehicle, my strong advice is exit the vehicle, because you're coming out of that car one way or another. And I always tell people this: the time to assert your constitutional rights is in a courtroom, adjudicate it there. We're not going to adjudicate it on the side of the road with a person that is a law enforcement officer with a gun and a badge and the ability and the power to arrest you. So if they ask you to get out of the car, you don't question. They'll usually ask a couple times nice. And then if you start giving them a kerfuffle,
less nice.
Well, they can. I've seen them break the window and drag people out through the window.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Caller, go ahead with your question.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, my daughter died, and we have one minor. My older grandson's trying to get guardianship. He's 25. The 17-year-old doesn't want to come home. He's staying with his friend's mother. Is there any legal thing we could do to get him back home with his brother and sisters?
Well, at 17, when's he going to be 18?
I can't hear you.
When's he going to be 18?
Not for a little over a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough fight, I'll be honest with you. Because at 17, they're right on the cusp there. You could file an action in court. The court can force him to come there.
So I can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why she can't hear me, but you can watch it later. But she's asking about, there's a 17-year-old, mom died, doesn't want to go home with his older brother, doesn't want to go live with the grandparents and stay at a friend's. They can file an action in the juvenile court. The court could force the child, but only till he or she's 17, only until they're 18, and then they're free to do what they want. It's better in those situations not to get the courts involved, but to try to use intermediaries. We have found in our practice to try to coax the child to make the right decision. But they're 17 and 18. They don't make good decisions. I don't mean it bad. We have juvenile court for a reason.
Teenagers.
Yeah, we've all been there. I've reared.
How many of us have made less than ideal decisions?
I'll raise my hand.
Exactly.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, Dave, thank you much.
Well, thank you. And I brought the goodies, of course.
He did, yes. We're well taken care of. There we go. There's the donut beauty shot. Well, come